go. All right, let's get this in the position where it needs to go. All right, we're back over here in the studio on the other desk. Make room for all of these things that may or may not need to be used at this moment. All right. Okay, so we airbrushed a bunch of vehicles this morning, including some snow camouflage on some of these. And finished one of them up. And really happy with how it turned out. I'd almost say it's my favorite vehicle I painted ever. Almost. I'm almost going to say that because I had this vision of what I wanted it to look like, and it kind of met that. So it still isn't sealed though. I'm way behind on that. I'm way behind on that, but so Solitario, welcome. All right, so yeah, so this is the T34 that we have that's complete. I've had this model for a long time, probably the early 1990s, actually, and just never got around to painting it. So there's always just something that would jump in its way. So now we have it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to continue with this SU-85. And this is actually, this other one, this is kind of what it looked like. The track's a little bit different, but I don't know if that's noticeable right there, but you can tell what the difference is. Let's just flip this around and give you guys a good view of this, because I'll show you what it started like looking like, and then what we've got now. Okay. So this started like this morning. And after you do the washing and all the other drippings and stuff like that, that's what you're left with. So pretty dramatic difference. And this was originally just green, and we airbrushed some brown here on the tracks. And we did the whitewash on it as well. So welcome. All right. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to skip this one because this is going to be basically look the same. It's going to have different markings on it. But we're going to do the SU-85, okay, which is the assault gun. It's basically the same chassis. It just has an 85 millimeter gun in a casement. So this is what we're going to paint tonight. All right. I don't know if we'll get it completely completed because you can't rush things. Things are just going to take as long as they're going to take. And this cord wants to clip everything along the way. And everybody's going to get all excited about that King Tiger when I do it. But, you know, it'll just have to wait its turn. I get a little bit more excited about the plain looking vehicles. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we don't paint on this. We're not one of those people. We have a piece of cardboard that we paint on, so if there's a little bit of a spillage, it'll catch it. You don't look at it in an eyesore the whole time. All right, we're going to need to get Gnome oil. That's the first thing we're going to do. And we're going to put a little bit of it here. And that way we can draw from this. And which one of these brushes is the one we're going to use? That's the one. Can I donate 500? Why would you do that? What's wrong with you? I haven't even given you a happy ending. Why would you give me 500 bucks? All right, so we're going to come in here and we're going to start filling in these areas that are recesses. Want a shout out? Why do you want a shout out? Thanks for coming by. Somebody the other day was wanting to do shout outs just because it came in with a weird handle. I can tell you this much though. I can't spend this amount of time working on these things and then look this good and then play some game that's just big as crap. Like, what a tanker or something like that. Like, this doesn't cut it. Painted this exact tank a few years ago. Really cool. In which one? This one? The SU-85 or the 76 Model 43? And was it the Eschi model? I actually have two of them. I think I got them on eBay a long time ago, and I got them relatively inexpensively, and they were both this one. And what happened was these tracks fit like crap. They really do fit like crap. So I decided to put them in hot water. Put them in hot water to shrink them a little bit. And, oh, it shrank them all right. And it twisted them to the point where I couldn't use them. So this one is actually the bottom hull of a company called AER, which I think is a knockoff of the Eschi model. AER Moldova. And I had a couple of T-34-85s. One of them was painted poorly, and I tried to strip the paint off of it, and it didn't work really well. So that's the bottom of that one. The actual, but they were basically the same kit. Didn't even come with instructions, and they came in a baggie. I don't know how much I got them for on eBay. Maybe $10, $15 or something for both of them. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, probably 30 years ago. And SU models were probably state of the art back then, but now they're a little lackluster. But it painted up pretty good. You know, it's got some decent details. No, we're gonna leave this one with a crappy track and all. We'll just deal with it. You know, there's other ways you can do with it to tie it down, but I'm not gonna mess with it. It doesn't bother me that much. So. Jorge Raposo, welcome. Your son loves tanks, and I built several of these. Yeah, SU makes things more complicated than they should, but in all fairness, some of these molds are as old as I am. Or, well, almost as old as I am. 77, something like that. So this white paint that's on there is actually made by AK, and it's called washable white. And what you're supposed to be able to do with it is spray it on here and then take a wet brush and kind of wear some of it off. I have chosen not to do that. I'm going to, I did not do it at all. I could have just used white paint. Wouldn't have made a difference. But it's their washable white paint. Had issues with the tracks. Yeah, I much prefer separate link track stuff. Well, hopefully your son's building them, because that's what you're supposed to do as a dad, right? Like build this stuff. I remember I would get, before I was able to build any models, I'd ask my dad to, hey, would you build this for me? And which was kind of a waste of his time because I ended up like trashing it. Not accidentally. I was never one of those kids that's like, hey, let's put fireworks in it. And blow things up. But just in handling them, stuff happens when you're a kid. And I had a Testors. I don't know what scale it was. It might have been. I remember it was a Testors model, because Testors used to have like a picture of the finished model that was in the package. None of this. You have this great artwork, and then you open it, and it's like it's a piece of crap on the inside. It's like, no, you see what you're going to get, or you're supposed to be able to see what you're going to get. But it was a Japanese submarine. It was an I-400 class submarine that had the little float plane inside. It's actually carried a little float plane in the front of the conning tower. Huge displacement. Had almost the displacement of like a light cruiser. This Japanese submarine. And they came out in late of the war. And I wanted to get one, so I talked my dad into building it. Of course, it wasn't painted or anything. He just built it, and I played with it and probably trashed it, but I didn't know how to put home models together when I was 7 or 8. I probably didn't. The first model I ever put together on my own was a monogram snap type kit of a P40 in the early 80s. And why the P40? Because it had a tiger shark mouth. That was cool. And now I got, I don't know, probably 200 of these things. I probably have 200 tanks. In 2.5 years of doing this. I mean, I've been doing this longer, but I've just been doing tanks in this scale for 2.5 years. It's not my first rodeo, but I am new to this event. So we're going to do this in the same order that we did the other one, which is black line all this stuff, and then go and figure out what markings I'm going to paint on this. I'm not going to use the decals. I'll paint them myself. And then do the weathering. And then this one will be knocked out. And every bit of this is acrylic. So we have no toxic smells here. Well, I think this is this is the third winter vehicle I painted. And it definitely looks better than the other two. The other two don't look bad. And this one is going to have a commander that's going to be looking out the hatch. This is one of these times where you're wondering, did you have as much fun as you think you were going to this weekend? Because the weekend's over. It's going to be time for the salt mines soon. I was actually surprised that there's a fair number of people, probably people that are older than me, I'm just guessing, that do this hobby that use enamels. I'm like, I'm not. I mean, I've been using acrylics now for probably since about 1985. Now, I've always used acrylics and painting in enamels. Those are terrible. Have to use spirits to clean your brushes, and that's old school right there. Mmm. A little bit of water. There we go. I just figured I have an opportunity to do some painting. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. A lot of it's going to depend on you guys. I get engaged with people, and then next thing you know, I'm on here for a while. If people don't seem to be very active, then well, I could go to bed. Oh, this is my third painting session this morning, right? 1, 2, I think 3 or 4. I don't know. This has a lot more details than the other model, but the details are a lot more subtle. This is a pretty sleek, modern looking vehicle. Yeah, I was about to quit, but I'm like, man, I'm almost done. You'll get some water. I'll be right back. And a lot of this will be covered up because there's going to be a figure that's permanently going to be mounted in there. I like mounting figures inside of a vehicle, maybe 1 in 4, not every single one of them. But it provides a sense of scale. Start getting an idea of how big things are when you got a person next to them. I'll be happy if I do get all this black lining done tonight. All right, this side is complete. Everything you can see here, except this. Moving along to the front, let's go look at the other side first. This line, it goes from here to here. Nothing else on the side per se. Let's go around these exhaust things here in the back. Okay, so this is where we're going to leave off for tonight on this. We'll be back in the morning to continue painting rusty bits and whatever kind of markings this vehicle is going to have on it. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.